Dean DeRue, if you had to put your bets on one particular initiative for us to address a global challenge, what would it be and why?
So I have to pick one of the three that I articulated earlier is what you're asking me. So if you recall, the three that I talked about, decent work, decent pay, economic prosperity, number one. Two, health, well-being, broadly defined. And third, one of equity. Let me talk about equity first. We'll talk about just gender equity. There are many different forms of equity in organizations. We'll talk about gender equity first. At the current rate, we'll just talk about pay for a moment. At the current rate which we are closing the gap between gender disparity in pay, I will approximately be 80 years old when we reach parity. Okay. If you're an African American or Hispanic woman, I will be approximately 270 years old. Technology better speed up pretty quickly, right, in reaching gender parity in that regard. Certainly there's work to be done there. And so I would place my bets that, one, it's becoming widely accepted that it's an issue. I think organizations are working tirelessly to develop the talent pipelines that will enable us to address that issue in an accelerated manner. I get excited about that. And it's not just gender, it's all forms of diversity in that regard. I also get really excited about the health and wellness, again, broadly defined, because I think it actually saddens me how the levels of burnout, the levels of stress that people feel and experience in organizations, and then they bring that home. And I think we underestimate the negative impact that that has on the family structure and the downstream consequences that has for the children in that family structure. And that creates a systemic effect that I don't even think we fully understand today. And so can I have two?
That's fine.
It would be those two. If we can really move the needle on the equity issues and really move the needle on the health and well-being issues broadly defined, I think we probably move the needle on the decent work, decent pay issues as well. And there are companies that are making really positive strides there. Whole Foods, Costco, the average hourly rate of those firms is now around $21 an hour. It's pretty good. Starbucks making a deal with Arizona State University where basically every barista and employee can have access to education. That's a really bold move. So I think there are firms that are really trying to create decent work, decent pay, and really put their money where their mouth is in terms of generating access to economic prosperity. So those other two, I think we have more work to do on.